So, okay, let's continue. The other topic about addiction, not topic actually, this is another type of addiction, dependence. So there is synonym, I will tell a little bit later, yeah, between the difference between these words. But today we are going to talk about drug addiction, about drugs or substance abuse. So these things, it's anyway about chemical addiction. It's continuation, yeah, of our previous lecture. But it's another type of substance, not alcohol, but another type of substance. But maybe you know, and give me some examples of substance that you know.
Heroin, heroin.
Yes.
Um, um,
Can you also say this glue addiction, the people who are smelling glue, or this type of substances is as a chemical addiction?
Yes, yes.
Sorry,
It's also, yeah, because glue contain some substances that can change our state. Yes, yes. What else? Maybe some other substances, you know.
now it's in synthetic drugs,
Drugs,
as
okay.
I know.
So you have heard, yeah, about this kind of epidemic of these synthetic drugs. Yes, have you heard? They're very famous, and people suffering a lot. Yes, suffering from psychosis because of these synthetic drugs. Synthetic drugs, okay. Heroin, you told. Some other maybe.
Inhalers, all we can call another inhalers. Can you also call like people? Some they, for example, they can get morphine from, for example, they can sieve from hospitals morphines, and they also use is a this chemical addictive.
Yes, yes, yes. It also can be substance that we are becoming addicted from. Yes, that's true. I don't know even if I ask you, did you try any of these substances? If you can share this information or not. But if you, for example, were using painkillers, it also we can suffer after if you are using a lot. Yeah, it's because some painkillers, they contain some forbidden substances. It's like drugs, they contain drugs. Or if you, for example, were in the hospital and experience some operation, so
sedative,
yeah, so this is all, yes, it is also one of the substances we are kind of consider as drugs.
Morphine.
Morphine, yeah,
like morphine they use for cancer.
Yes, 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 more
illnesses.
Opioid. Actually, heroin and morphine, it's opioid.
Opioid.
Cocaine. Yes, yes. What about what?
Antidepressants.
Yes, we also can be addicted from antidepressants.
Misuse of antidepressants.
Yes, yes.
Overuse.
Yes, yeah. So you got this idea of addicted behavior already. So we can be addicted from any, in that sense, type of substance or activity. But the main thing, that this substance has to bring some harm to us, yeah. In that sense, we can talk about some addictions or dependence in terms of chemical things. We usually use the term dependence, yeah, or as you mentioned, another word, substance abuse. Yes, when we use some substance and we are not like suffer from other things, but it's more about misuse, yeah. But I will tell you this, since it's like stages, you know, of development of this mechanism of addiction. But actually, I was telling you probably last time, yeah, that we use drugs, but not now. So many centuries, human being, people, we are using different substances, and it's more about alcohol, of course, and about drugs. So it's not like something new that appeared in this age. Probably only this substance that you mentioned, it's like synthetic drugs, yeah. The other name is designer drugs. It's a beautiful name, yes, designer drugs. But before we were using the drugs as a medicine to reduce pain. So this is main mechanism. And you probably know that in medicine, the idea of any drug or medicine, sorry, this is English words because in Russian it's a little bit different context. So in medical science, if we use any tablets, that we consider as medical tablets, in that sense, they usually contain something that may be connected with drugs like opioid, like morphine, like these things. So it contains something forbidden, or before it could contain something that we were able to call like poison. Understand the other things, and something that is not useful, but everything depends on the dose. So if it's kind of small dose of this substance, then it can be cure for me. Yes, it's like it's cure. Yeah, it's sorry. It's I'm not sure this English word I have to use, лекарство, so cure. Yeah. But if, for example, the dose of this substance is huge, it can be poisonous. So this is just a question of this dose. Understand? So, and this is actually we can use in other things.
Maybe for everything, overdose is always like poison. It may be sugar. It's not always drugs.
Yes,
everything, every overdose is some dangerous for human.
Yes. So you got my idea. Yeah. So it's just a question of dose. Yeah, and the repetition. Yeah. So if I mean, I can use something to reduce pain, really. And I use, for example, painkillers. But if I do it every day, and we know about already physical and psychological dependence, so this substance become part of my biology, physiology. It's like everyday life, so it becomes part of my body. And in that sense, I can't live already without this substance because I use it more. And we were talking about withdrawal syndrome, about tolerance and all these things. But if to talk about drugs, so before, again, I'm telling you that we didn't have so much different type of drugs. And most of the drugs we were using for many centuries, they helped us to reduce pain. Or probably you have heard about, actually this is famous now, but it was also in that sense, it existed many centuries before, about these drugs. We call it ayahuasca. So I'm not sure that I pronounce it in English correctly, because in Russian we use this word ayahuasca. Have you heard about this? So it was very popular between teenagers, probably 3 or 4 years ago. Not only teenagers, actually, between young people. So this is You haven't heard, yeah?
Yes, no.
Okay.
Actually, I'm from Issyk-Kul,
Uh,
and we have grass that like I don't know, like heroin, or I don't know how to be in English. Actually, young people use this grass.
okay. To reduce
Uh,
pain or what? For what?
no, for relaxing. Maybe you read Chingiz Aytmatov's novel Plaha, and he actually wrote about it.
Actually,
People come.
I don't remember what was the name of the grass. Yeah.
This grass is three leaves, like it's not forbidden in Holland. It's not forbidden in some
Cannabis.
states.
Okay. Okay.
Of
Cannabis. You're
US,
talking about
yeah,
cannabis.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
maybe.
Of course, I know the name of this
And
substance.
actually, in old
Grass.
photos, maybe in early stage of Soviet Union, I saw my parents' photos, and there was opium fields,
Yes.
big opium fields. Before they used actually maybe painkiller or something
Yes,
else.
yes. They were creating actually during Soviet time. It was a kind of the government officially used these
Yeah.
plants for preparing some medicine, some drugs, painkillers, and etc. Yes, yes. So it was official. And you're talking about cannabis. Yeah, this is very famous drug now. The group of cannabinoid and ayahuasca. This is also one of the, if I may say like that, like some type of grass. It's like that produce some hallucinations, and people. So actually, it was Native Americans who were using this grass, and they were kind of traveling in that sense, and so they made some journey inside of their kind of mind. And it's like, if you were reading the book of I forgot, it was very famous during 1880s and 90s of last century. Sorry, it's about a guy who experienced this journey with his teacher who was using drugs. It was very famous book. Sorry if I forgot the name. You know the name.
Jack London's books or
No,
not?
no, it's sorry, I forgot. I will remember and I will tell you yeah, the name. Because it was very famous book and everyone was reading. And in this book, it was described this experience how Native Americans, they used drug for process of initiation. So this kind of process I'm talking about. Yeah, so idea of using drugs, yeah, in that sense, before it was somehow to help people with pain, or to, as I mentioned, to do some journey. It's like initiation to, for example, to go from one stage of your age to another stage. It's not like literally, yes, I'm getting older, but it's metaphorically more like I'm going through the process of initiation. I'm kind of making this journey with this substance, and I experience something that beyond, this kind of everyday life and experience, and I touch something like transcendental, if I can say like that. And then when I am kind of stop to use it, it's like I have something inside of me, and it's metaphorical again. I'm kind of a little bit growing up. It's metaphorical again, I'm telling you. So these things, they were kind of very popular between some cultures. And in Siberia, for example, shamans, yeah, they also kind of were using drugs. So it's not something new. But what we have now, and we know now our kind of human being nature, that we can be addicted. Yeah, so something that were made for us for, I don't know, another purpose, like to cure something, we can use in that sense to harm. Yeah, but not always we do it intentionally, of course. Sometimes, but not always, and we can become addicted. In that sense, this is again, I'm telling you now, nature. Okay, I will try to share my screen, and we will talk a little bit about the terms, because it's really a tricky thing. Because last lecture you started to ask me about difference between this word addiction, and another word I forgot, dependence, these words, and
I was asking dependence.
Dependence, and I understood this thing. I mean, how I understood. So in Russian we use the same word for both. For dependence and for addiction, there is no difference. We use one word, the name of this word, зависимость. So in that sense, there is no difference. But with English, there is some tricky thing. And actually, when I prepared presentation, I just kind of paid attention more detail on these things, because if we are talking about diagnosis, so in ICD, for example, there is a difference between these words. But of course, again, I last time I also mentioned this thing. So usually when we talk about dependence, it's about chemical, things. It's about chemical addiction in any way. Because dependence can be physical and psychological, so this word kind of considered more like from this point. But anyway, we have to look on the difference on this thing that we have now in ICD-11, and this thing's a little bit actually changed. Okay, I have to find here how to share the screen. Okay. But do you have maybe some questions now?
Nicotine is not.
Substance. No, it's also considered as a substance that not allowed. I mean, if you use nicotine, you are addicted from nicotine. I mean, it's diagnosed tobacco.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, it's diagnosed. Okay, so you can see, the screen. Yes, do you see the terms?
Yeah.
So key definitions. So there is here you can see there is substance abuse, there is substance dependence, and there is drug addiction. So it's very tricky, because in Russian it would be, I mean, not like the same thing like substance abuse. It's a little bit different, but the dependence and substance dependence and drug addiction in Russian language we would use the same translation, like зависимость от наркотиков или от психоактивных веществ. So it's like that. But okay, substance abuse, we already talked about this things. This means that you are using some type of substances, but you do it not to help you, but you do it and this substance kind of can bring you harm. So this is kind of main thing, substance abuse. And for example, in some situations, I can use this substance. I can abuse actually this substance, even I know that it's not good. I can. It's about alcohol also. So alcohol is also considered like substance. I can. I don't know. You were talking about this grass cannabis. I can smoke cannabis to reduce, for example, fear, or I can drink more alcohol if I'm kind of in some stress situation. But it's not always about dependence, So just try to get this idea. Another kind of term, it's substance dependence. So these things actually we were discussing, last time when we were talking about this dependence syndrome, that we have, we were considering this in some, when we were talking about alcohol, but it's actually about drugs also, So physiological and psychological, kind of types of this dependence. And it happens with us when we we start using this substance more often, and our tolerance is changing. We need more of this substance to achieve the same psychological state. And if I don't use this kind of substance, I suffer from withdrawal symptoms. And another term is a drug addiction. So this term we consider as a chronic brain disorder that characterized by compulsive drug seeking and drug use behavior despite of harmful consequences. And if I'm addicted to drug, so usually it involves some changes in my brain structure, and my personality and my relationship and in other things. So if to give direct translation of this word to Russian language, I would translate the word drug addiction as the word narcomania. So have you heard about this word before? Narcomania. Sorry.
Yes, of course.
So in that sense, so you got the idea between the difference of these terms. Do you have questions, or we can go further?
No, addiction, now loss of control, yes? The last stage. And dependence, it's related to withdrawal.
No, it's both related to withdrawal, but the main thing, so it's how to say, so when we are talking about drug addiction, narcomania, so it usually leads, so substance dependence leads us to some changing in our behavior and some other neurological consequences. So if we consider the term drug addiction, you see the main thing is a chronic brain disorder. So it's already consequences of substance dependence. This is a difference in terms of diagnosis, so it's kind of more like stages, in that sense. I would consider this like developing of this mechanism of addiction. Because we are psychologists, we can't put diagnosis, but we have to understand the mechanism. So did you get now?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to show you some statistics actually. You see, the statistics. This statistics is taken from World Health Organization, and so this is kind of most famous substances that we are using. So you see that alcohol people are using more, tobacco on the second place, and then only some psychoactive drugs. So this you see the figures is 2020 third, so it was a couple of years ago. These statistics we got probably now some other figures. But anyway, I think still alcohol is on the first place. In that sense. Okay, and the next thing we can look on the death. You see that again, it's not new, as you can see. It's 20 and 90s. It was 6 years ago, when these figures. World Health Organization kind of gave us, but you can see here how many people dies from some disease that kind of near with drugs, not only from drug dependence or something like that, but you see when we start to use some drugs, usually we have some consequences. It's like you see different types of hepatitis, B, C, it's like HIV, RTA, and suicide. So people are dying, but most of people using drugs dying, you see, of hepatitis C. So this kind of very dangerous in that sense. And here it's again about some like categories, but it's like some stages, of this sin that connecting with abusing some substances. We can see these things in ICD-11 now. So we can talk about hazardous substance use. It's like when I just start, to use some substance, and maybe it can happen with me only once or twice. If I can use it, it's like some overdose, or maybe it can happen with me, I don't know, 10 times during my life. It's like you see here the examples, like occasional heavy drinking or some experiments I do with drugs and etc. So the next one is episode of harmful use. So in that sense, it's actually about one episode. And you see that's interesting thing, that before in ICD-10, for example, we didn't have such diagnosis in ICD-10 or 9 or kind of previous version. So we were talking more about substance already dependence. So it's the diagnosis were like if you're already using drugs, not like you just once use it and you stopped. But now because we have some cases, a lot of cases in the world where people can use only once this drug, and we can in that sense face with some really negative consequences like psychosis. You were telling about this synthetic drugs. So usually in the case of synthetic drugs, we have more psychosis. And you can use only once, and in that sense, you already can face with consequences. And in that sense, we are talking about episode of harmful use. Yes. Another is like harmful pattern of psychoactive substance use. So pattern, the word patterns usually already tells us about that we do something more often. Here it's time that has to be no less than 12 months. Next, it's again, it's like stages. I usually, if I become substance dependent, it's not like today, for example, I used cocaine and tomorrow I already drug addict. No, it has to be some process. It can be like episode, then episodes, yes, and then harmful pattern, and then substance dependence. Yes, and if the mechanism already, dependent mechanism already kind of developed, then it's another thing and another type of treatment we need. Because if we talk about dependence, it's again psychological and the physical dependence. And you remember the things we were discussing last time. Because if we talk about, for example, episode or hazardous, substance use. So in that sense, it's more about desire. So it's a psychological thing. I want this substance because I remember how I felt when I was using this thing. But if we are talking about physical dependence already, it's not only about I want this thing because I remember how it was really kind of good to feel myself like God. I don't know, but it's more about that I can't functioning normally without this substance. So it's usually about withdrawal symptoms and syndrome. Did you get this? Sorry, I'll come back to you. Do you have any questions now? Because
On Russian, это как ломка, да, вот то, что физически.
withdrawal syndrome, yes. It's not official. It's not official actually. Word ломка. Yes, but it's yes, it's абстинентный синдром. Так называется. So in Russian, withdrawal syndrome is abstinentный syndrome.
Okay.
But yes, if to talk about some language that we usually use, it's like a lomka. Yes, yes. Okay, so I want to ask you a question. How do you think why people start using drugs? Actually, we discussed, yes, motives why people use drugs, like to reduce pain, yeah, to escape from, I don't know, some stress situation, reality, and etc. But maybe you can give some other examples.
I think sometimes people want to test something new.
Test something new, okay.
When you have possibility for that, when you have money, then you want to try something new. And it starts from one time. Yeah, you'll try one time, then you want some more, and then it can bring you to addiction.
So something new I want to try because I'm boring, yeah, for example. Okay, yes.
Вот как раз-таки после того, как попробуешь, а потом уже ты, когда уже попробовал, ты уже знаешь, что это тебя успокаивает. И после уже ты как бы уже используешь его как все-таки обезболивающий, может быть, расслабляющий.
Okay. Some other motives why people start using drugs.
Hello.
Yeah,
I
hello.
heard some stories where peer pressure took place. So it's when young people, they have this burning desire to fit in to certain, I don't know, group or something. So if their friends or people around them use drugs, it can be very hard to say no, specifically if they're young. Thus, many young people try various substances because they basically do not want to fall out of a company. They really want to fit in.
Yes,
I've
that's
heard
true. Yes, that's
here in Bishkek, you know.
Yes, it's not only in Bishkek. I mean, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
It can be one of the motivation. That's true. I mean, I know many patients of mine who started to use drugs because it was like an unofficial requirement to be part of this group. Because some types of groups, it's like an initiation process. You have to be kind of member of this group. You have to take some drugs because it's like it's an unofficial rule. Yeah. So yes, it may happen.
Right.
Maybe some other motives. Yeah.
Have we talked about like a social or cultural environment? Can this be a reason? I mean, in some families or like communities, you know, drug use can be like more common or even normalized, and it makes it more likely for a person to use. Again, I met some families where one of the parents smokes weed and says to the child, "Hey, you want to try? That's okay. Just try it with me."
Like in Afghanistan, maybe. Yeah? I saw some short reels when women uses this or this heroin like something, you know, like cigarettes. Because it's as I understand it's guns it's normal for Afghanistan's people. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it can be the reason, but anyway, if to talk about just pure statistics, they do it in the countries you are talking about. It's like Afghanistan, you know, that they were very famous with production of opioid drugs. Yeah, and in that sense, of course, I think there were more people who were using different types of drugs, and like women who were smoking cannabis, or now I don't know what do they smoke, some other type of substances, but not like it's not like for the whole society, I believe. Maybe more percentage of people, yes, but it's anyway, it's not normal to do it. But in that sense, yes. If to talk about motivation, yes, if I see the example, and of course, if people do this and more often in my group or my country, of course, I have this idea that I mean, I can also do it. Yeah, I can try. Yes,
Right.
yes, of course, it can be like that. It's if to talk about substance, not only about drugs, but alcohol. Yeah, we were discussing
Yeah.
this. It's like wine in Georgia, yeah, in European countries like Spain, Italy. Yes, it's like tradition. Some other motivation.
And also, I think that, you know, attempt to escape or numb difficult feelings can be a reason. For example, some people use drugs in order to avoid stress, anxiety, sadness, or like other problems in their life. So it can, it can feel like a temporarily relief, but however, like later it creates bigger issues, right? But at the exact moment they feel relief, they just forget about their problems and
Yes,
say life
yes,
is beautiful and etc. Yeah.
yes, true. Yeah.
Else.
And maybe some other ideas you
А,
have.
можно я добавлю?
Mhm.
А, Да, вот все равно человек же как бы он уязвимый же, как бы, то есть это тоже зависит от характера, от внутреннего вот от внутренней воли, да, человека зависит тоже. Но если человек слабоват именно, как сказать, вот, ну, как у нас сейчас популярно говорить, стрессоустойчивость, да? Но жизнь же как бы все равно вот в течение жизни разные происходят ситуации, вещи, да, чего мы не можем, к сожалению, избежать. Вот. И один таких еще вот, я думаю, да, вот когда человек не может вынести внутреннюю боль, настолько она вот тебя, может быть, загоняет, и человек прибегает к таким вот, допустим, успокоительный, да, на ночь, чтобы выпить и заснуть, чтобы не думать об этом или вот человек, например, вот просто потерял самого близкого человека. То есть это тоже нелегко вот это все пережить на самом деле
Yes.
некоторым, да, вот, и тоже прибегает человек к таким вот, к такой помощи, да, чтобы уснуть или забыться хоть на некоторое время хотя бы. Да, но человек разумом понимает, что это может, да, там, зависимость перейти, да, но в душе-то человека вот внутри же не может вот это победить в себе, да, вот, и
Okay.
прибегает к таким вот, к такой помощи, да, вот такие ситуации тоже, наверное, да, вот нелегко, да, вот такие моменты тоже, да.
It's about, if to talk about strategy, yes, of addictive
Да,
behavior, yes,
ага.
this idea we were discussing, yes, last time, that the strategy of addictive behavior, any type of addictive behavior, I use when I kind of can't cope with something that happens in my life. So this is kind of idea of any type of addiction. But as you were mentioning, yeah, that's true. It depends on my personal features, on my, I don't know, character, personality, experience. Some people, they can, in that sense, they have more resources, some internal strengths, I don't know, whatever, and they don't need to take these painkillers if we are talking about any kind of pain, that it's like physical pain or psychological pain. Yeah, but some they can. That's true. They can't cope. Okay, so the main mechanism actually you were describing, but usually if to talk about this mechanism, it's kind of really interesting. No one of you didn't tell about this mechanism. You can see, yeah, now the screen. So it's hedonic motif. You know, yeah, what does it mean, hedonic? Because in our human beings' nature, we were discussing, yeah, these things with you, that we like to experience some joy, yeah, some pleasure. If to remember Freud, yeah, we pleasure principle, yeah, this is one of the main things that we have inside of our psychic. And in that sense, this hedonic motive can be one of the things why I start to use drugs, because I want to experience some pleasure and enjoyment. So another motive here is submissive motive. You were talking about these things, yeah, that kind of I can't go against traditions and norms, and I have to kind of use these things because it's very important in my group or culture. I mean, any type of group, yes. Communicative motive. So sometimes people are really using drugs or any other substances because they kind want to be not only part of the group, but they also want to communicate with people. Some of us, we are kind of very anxious, for example, when we want to meet new people. So that is why people start to using some substances, drugs, alcohol, yeah, because they want to reduce this social anxiety. And you know, for example, if to talk some substances, nicotine, tobacco, yeah, this is also substance. And in that sense, if you did smoking, you know that with smoke, actually we have a lot of rituals that goes near. For example, you drank coffee, and after you drank coffee in the morning, you do smoking. But if you do it at work, for example, you need some break and you go with colleagues and tells, okay, let's go for smoking. And you go and it's like a ritual. We are talking, we have some break and we do smoking. So it's also kind of communicative motive, if I can say like that. The tensive motive, yeah, it's like you would also talking about the sense that I need to reduce some unpleasant emotions. I have to cope with some psychological stress. Distress, yeah, it's usually stress with negative emotions, with negative things. And I want to escape something, and this motive usually, yeah. Kind of underline when we start using, yeah, these drugs. And another motive is protest demonstrative motive. So sometimes teenagers, they really start to do it because of this reaction. I don't know if you did these things or not, but if to talk, for example, about smoking, I remember that when I was at school, some of our classmates, they started to smoke in very young age. I mean, I don't remember, to 12, for example, or something, because they wanted to show something to someone, or to their parents, or to their nearest surrounding, like, oh, we are already adult, and etc. And you can see the surnames, yeah, of these people who kind of offers these motives. And so usually it's about these things why we start using drugs. And in ICD 11, as I mentioned before, yeah, we have a little bit changing of this diagnosis, and you see it's kind of different types of this addiction, but we were talking about this since last time. So it's about substance abuse. So it's like psychoactive substances. About single episodes, I just mentioned this in several minutes before. It's like harmful patterns. And we also have this huge part in ICD-11 connected with disorder due to addictive behavior. And this part includes gambling disorder and gaming disorder. So these kind of things, they also now in ICD-11, but gambling and gaming, it's not about substances, but anyway, it's about addiction. And if to talk about substances, so often gambling disorder, so people who play casino cards and all these things, who has this gambling disorder, usually it is connected with using some substances. It's alcohol or drugs, because when I physically play casino, you know that before we now don't have in our country casino physical, I mean buildings where we can play casino. We can do it online now, but before, and in other countries where still such type of things exist, so usually I have some alcohol and substance. Substance is not official, but I can drink usually a lot of alcohol when I play cards. And now what we have here in ICD-11, before we didn't have so many different types of substances. That is why I was asking you at the beginning, what substances do you know? Before it was less kind of substances, these psychoactive substances actually. But now in ICD-11 we have this psychoactive substances, and if you use any of this, you consider like addicted or dependent, or maybe you are still do some substance abuse, I don't know. So it's alcohol, cannabis, synthetic cannabinoids, opioids, sedative hypnotics, and anxiolytics. It's anxiolytics, sorry, it's anxiolytics. Sorry, I never used this word in English before. Cocaine, stimulants, synthetic catenones, caffeine, by the way, hallucinogens, nicotine, volatile inhalants, MDMA. It's in Russian language, we know more these drugs like ecstasy, MDMA, and dissociative drugs. So this kind of now are very famous to talk about this kind of type of drugs. But actually, I want to ask you, I had this idea to talk about different types of drugs because they have different mechanisms. And you have to understand, for example, you were telling me that actually depends on the person, on the character. I mean, anything that connected with my originality as human being. If I will be using drugs or alcohol or any other substance, so I won't be using. But it actually also depends on my personality, on my human being features, which type of drug I will be using if I start using. So that is why I had actually idea to tell you a little bit about this different mechanism of substances. So, but maybe you know something. Do you know? Just tell me. Do you know, for example, the mechanism how cocaine or how antidepressants, what they do, how they can act? I don't know if I can say like that. What they do with us.
No idea.
Okay, but how do you think? Okay, how do you think why we have? I mean, why there is a difference if I will be using alcohol or if I will be using cocaine? Or you think there is no difference, by the way? Maybe you think it's like if I kind of have this addictive, I don't know, personality, something like that, I will be addicted from anything, and it doesn't depend what this will be. It's like gaming, gambling, alcohol, opioid.
As we watch, as we watched in films, for example, alcohol needs some time for relax. Yeah, for example, you must drink and you must wait some time. But Coke, it immediately starts to relax human because он начинает действовать сразу.
Cocaine.
Да. No, as we watched in films.
But alcohol also kind of, if you drink alcohol now, I mean, in several minutes, you will kind of experience.
But after 30 minutes, or but Coke's time starts some earlier than alcohol. You need to wait sometimes. Yeah, you'll drink, then you'll wait, for example, for 30 minutes or 1 hour. But some people cannot be как бы могут не опьянеть, да? А кокаин it's actually действует на всех сразу. No, as we watched on films.
But how do you think? Okay. No, I mean, I don't know.
Можно уточнить, профессор? Вопрос был, и какая разница между кокаином и алкоголем? То есть как на человека действует?
No, I was asking. Yes, I was asking. So why, for example, maybe you don't think that there is a difference, but I was asking, how do you think? Is there any difference, for example, if I will be addicted person, which type of substance I would use? Or if I have this type of addictive personality, for me, it doesn't matter what I will be using, like alcohol, cocaine, tobacco, anyway, I will be using. Or there is a difference between these things, and it depends on the personality.
Tobacco is light, alcohol is more чуть побольше, как бы, да, побочный эффект. Heroin, cocaine is more тяжелее, да, more, как бы, и воздействие то же самое. Слабое, чуть послабее и сильное. Один из вариантов.
Okay, one. Okay, so you think the difference between how I feel after I use, yeah, it's like
Yes.
how my state is changing, or it's like light changing, if I may say like that, yes, or something like.
After tobacco, I can control myself. Yeah.
Control, okay.
But after alcohol, it's 50-50. But after cocaine or heroin, I cannot control myself.
Actually, yes, there is something in that sense. It's about control. Yes, that's true. I mean, I never was thinking this way because some people, they don't like to lose control. That is why, for example, some people never use any substances because they are losing to have their control. And of course, if I'm afraid of these things, that means I won't be drinking in any, I don't know, group because I'm afraid of to lose control. Yeah, there is something in this idea. True. But Nuskaim is writing to us. Maybe they have different effects. Exactly, this thing. I mean, they have different effects. That's true. I mean,
yeah.
And
effect on our brain, yes, like
on our brain. One thing,
they can,
yes,
yeah,
generally.
Yeah, but it's it's generally, in that sense, it's because all drugs they have effect on our brain. It's not good to use it often. We know these things, because there are some changes, but it also has a different effect on our psychology. So that is why you have to understand also the things. We were lecturing a lot when I remember. I was just graduating the university, and there was some prevention program for teenagers, and we were lecturing teenagers at school a lot about substance abuse. But usually the main idea when we see this advertising or someone is lecturing us, the main idea is to scare people. Or if you use these things, you become kind of old very fast. I don't know, not beautiful. You become stupid. And that's, I mean, I'm just simplifying these things, but usually people try to scary, people, and it's like for some people actually it can work. if I can tell you, oh, it's very dangerous. I mean, it is dangerous, but you have to understand the mechanism why people start using drugs. And they really have different effects. And I remember when we were starting to do this lecture at school, that is why we were always telling teenagers about different types of drugs and what the effect they have. Because you have to also understand why people become addicted. It's not just only because the main thing, I can't cope with something that in this world it's very difficult for me to cope with some, I don't know, you were telling about pain, physical, psychological, but we have to remember about hedonistic also things. So, and maybe you have heard these things. So people who are trying to use drugs, and maybe you saw these things in movies, it's often, by the way, shown on the screen. It's about opioid, drugs. When you opioid drugs, this type of drugs, opioid, it's like morphine, consist of this opioid. This is actually flower. I'm sorry, opioid, opium. I'm not sure this is English word. Opium, this flower. And this group of drugs that consist of opioid, they have this type of effect, like they reduce in pain. Morphine consists of opioid, But if you use this drug for the first time, for example, it has really amazing effect. It is relaxing you. And we are talking about altered state. I told you, that all these substances, they kind of lead us to altered state. So in everyday life, we can be in altered state, of course, but we have to do something special for this. So I don't know, we have to do meditation, we have to do some different types of actually meditation, active or passive, or we have to do some, maybe you have heard about these different types of breathing that were very popular in psychology, actually. And when we kind of do something special, we can go to this altered state, or we kind of go under, I don't know, trance or hypnosis, someone kind of tell us something and we are very relaxed and we go to this altered state. So did you get this information? I mean, did you get this idea? So when I use any type of substance, I go to the altered state. But if I started to talk about opioid type of drugs, it's like heroin also, this type of drug. So it is reduce the pain, but you experience something that you are not able to experience in everyday life. And people who are using heroin for the first time, usually they describe the experience like they feel themselves like God. And it's not a joke. I mean, it's metaphorical, but it's like very, I don't know, it's like euphoria, like this feeling. And I go somewhere, if to talk about, for example, psychodynamic direction, psychoanalysis, or analytical psychology. I mean, these directions, these schools in psychology. They talk a lot about psychic energy, like libido, for example. Carl Jung, we're telling about this libido. It's like psychic energy we have. So, and some scientists, they tell us, for example, when we use opioid for the first time, so people experience the same thing. Like if I touch some energy that I was never able to touch, if I can say like that. So did you understand this idea? So this experience you can't have. So you go beyond personality, you go beyond reality, you go somewhere, and this kind of experience that can influence on their personality. In that sense, I have to tell that I worked many years with people who suffer from addiction, drug or alcohol, and in some cases they're really more. I don't know how to say, more cooler. I don't more cool than me, because they experience something that I didn't experience. I don't know these things, and in that sense, of course, they have these things, and that is why sometimes they behave like, oh, we are kind of cool people. There is some basement for this. Understand? Yeah, the sense. Okay, you have questions or no?
No, это как бы среди молодежи, да, в основном, я круче.
No. It's like if even you now will try to use heroin for the first time, you can experience the same thing. It's not like it doesn't depend on your age, but maybe because if you're telling about age, it's like because you won't tell that, oh, I'm the coolest because I used heroin. Yeah, but the idea anyway, you experience something that I can't experience. Understand? Yeah. So and it's really, it has some idea. That they touch something that other people can touch. That is why it's very difficult to refuse from this experience, and that is why I kind of, for example, if it's especially about hedonistic motive, yeah, I tried this once. Of course, immediately psychological kind of desire, psychological dependence may appear, maybe not from the first time, maybe second or third, but anyway, some people, they have here this idea from the first time. It's like, I really want to repeat this experience. And this is about opioid, because other kind of drugs, they have different mechanism. And what I'm trying to tell you that actually, it's about personality also, because I always joking. I will tell you about different types of drugs later, but now I'm if to tell about this idea. I always joking that if I, for example, use drugs, I would never use opioid. This is not my type of drug. I don't want to experience this like, oh, I'm God. No. But I would, for example, if to make some fantasies here allowed, if I kind of would use drug, I would use another drug, but I won't tell you which one, because I will tell you at first about different types of drug, and then you will try to guess. Okay? Did you get this idea? So it's about opioid. Do you have questions? I was telling about opioid. Okay, just want these opioids, yeah, this kind of group of drugs I was telling. There are many classifications, to be honest, of these drugs, and you just saw on our previous slide that this all kind of psychoactive substances, but here it's like some groups of these substances. Yeah, so opioids we just discussed. Then there is stimulants. Yes, stimulants. What do you know about stimulants? You see here, actually, it's here is describing the mechanism. It's more about physiology, yeah? So increase CNS activity, primarily being enhancing dopamine and norepinephrine, resulting in increased alertness, energy, and focus. But with opioid, you see it's a little bit different, even physiological mechanism. But what do you know about stimulants? I'm sure you know.
Стимулант — это же вот когда искусственно что-то вызывать, да? Более...
Stimulant. Everything that we are discussing, it's any type of substance, it's alter state. But it huh? Sorry.
Caffeine.
Yes, caffeine. Yes, caffeine. Yes.
Caffeine is stimulant
yes,
energy.
Energy.
Caffeine.
Yes, energy drinks. Yes. Some other example. Yeah. So you got the idea, because it's the key word is stimulants. It's stimulating something. Yes. But stimulating, that means I become more active. It's like for example, if you drink a lot of caffeine, if you drink a lot of cocaine, I just wanted to tell, but cocaine usually don't drink. If you drink a lot of caffeine, yeah, maybe you kind of had this experience in your life. How you usually feel if you drink, I don't know, 3 cups of strong coffee?
Мгм.
You cannot sleep. Your energy is full and you cannot sleep. Or when I'm traveling to someone far, I'm always drinking coffee.
Okay. So yes, it's activation. Yeah, it activates our brain activity. It activates our sexual activity. I mean, creativity. It's like if, for example, I use any type of stimulants. For example, I can create 10 ideas more than if I'm without stimulants. Or if to talk about cocaine, by the way, cocaine, this is also stimulants. It's very popular stimulants, but it's very expensive drug. So this is the most expensive drug, cocaine. So you have to know. And probably this, since you have seen in movies, when you know this, they have this white powder. Yeah, did you see some? They usually they breathe in this white powder. So this is cocaine usually, because some other drugs like opioid usually people do injection with opioid or tablets. If we talk about I don't know some painkillers because they contain this opioid things. And cocaine, person who use cocaine, he become very active. He produces a lot of ideas. He, for example, can't sleep and he can do some job. Yeah, he can, I don't know, write, if he's write articles, I don't know. So any things he can do. If he is photographer, make photography, produce. So any activity, I understand, yeah, this things.
Are the doping powders also stimulates?
Yes, dope. Yes,
fitness.
yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know which type of drug they contain, but it's not cocaine because it's very expensive. Cocaine is a synthetic drug. So cocaine, by the way, was produced from the grass named cocada. Cocada, this is grass that Native Americans were using because they need some energy. When they were kind of tired, they eating this grass and they kind of were able to kind of not sleep, to do some job more, some activity, sorry, not job, some work more. And after this
some physical powers, yes.
After cocaine appeared. So this is most expensive drug. I have to tell you, and this is stimulants. It has, you see, opposite effect, not opposite, but a different effect than opioid. And cocaine is very popular between fashion world, I would say like this, because many patients I had from this fashion industry, and you know that it's like usually for rich people, because it's expensive. That is why they use cocaine. But there are consequences, of course. If you have to understand. So these drugs we are using, they take something from us, but we don't have like unlimited resources in that sense. And if you drink a lot of, I don't know, caffeine, black tea, cocaine, amphetamines, and some other type of these stimulants, so they activate our resource and they take everything from us, but we don't have additional resource, so we have limitation. And after we stop using these things, we are very exhausted. Understand? So that is why consequences usually we have depression, we have some sexual dysfunction because your activity when you use cocaine is very high. So my patients, a lot of them, men, I mean, they were usually complaining on the sexual dysfunction after using cocaine. And all these things, that connected with using the stimulants. And you know, from some drugs, the physical dependence has more, how to say it, more more things. It's how to say, it's very tricky. It's more things we can see with withdrawal syndrome because of this physical dependence. So there is such a thing that people think that, for example, from opioid dependence, on opioid addiction, this physical dependence, this physical component of this dependence is very strong. Also, like psychological and physical, psychic and physical, component is very strong. But some scientists, they tell that from cocaine, psychological component is really, really strong, but physical component is less than comparing, for example, to opioid addiction. Did you get this sense? Because it's more about psychology, but I mean, anyway, they have this withdrawal syndrome. Of course, they both of these things, they have this physical part of physical dependence, or physical type. Did you get? Do you have questions? Because I want to talk about another type.
Cocaine, like this type of stimulant, they only rise the energy. Yes, they are not relaxing, or still they are also can relax.
No. It's, I mean, for some people, you have to understand, to feel this energy, to produce more ideas, to do more activity. It's equal to relaxing.
In short time.
Yes. I mean, it's like metaphorical.
They become more motivated, so
yes,
more relaxed, maybe.
Exactly. Yes, like that. But for some people, it's like it's maybe yourself that for you, for example, I don't know, activity is not good, but you like more to be relaxed, to read book, I don't know, to think about something that happens in your internal world. I mean, but for some people, there are some actions. So yes, a different mechanism. So you got this idea. Okay, good. Okay. Maybe you want I tell you about some definite drugs then.
No, we don't. We only know, I think, what cocaine. I thought it's cocaine, the name of drug, generally, like stimulant. Yes, generally they call it cocaine, and there are specific names.
Yes. So, but there are many types of stimulants. I'm telling this here on this page. We have it's a group, of these different types of substances. But there is different classification. So stimulants is cocaine, caffeine, and amphetamine, and other types of these substances. Okay, so another very popular
can I ask, I don't know, it's also a question from my group mate. We said that the another addictive, they first proposed, it was in good purpose, they wanted to kill pain, for surgery, but for cocaine, what was the main purpose in good way? Why they started to use cocaine? Why I don't think it's to increase energy. Maybe they had another reason. In good intention, what was the intention of using cocaine?
Just relax. Just for relax after hard work or something else. No?
Cocaine, as Professor said, it's for not so much relaxing. It's more like increasing energy, more like doing more works.
But for some people, I told it's like more psychological relaxing. If I want to be relaxed, metaphorical, in that sense, not like physically that I kind of feel like I'm sleeping, dreaming, I don't know, somewhere traveling in my mind, but more like a psychological thing that I want to switch my attention, maybe. This in Farhat you meant, or
Yes, I meant that.
Okay.
Because
Maybe some other ideas, because yeah, cocaine was very popular, and before we didn't consider this as drugs, you know.
It's like kind of we are drinking coffee and we don't think that it's like something addictive. We really want to just maybe to increase our energy, yeah. And we don't know one day coffee also will become like addictive. Like cocaine maybe.
Yes, it was. I mean, it's like
I got you.
Yeah. So caffeine is also I mean, stimulants. Cocaine was very popular in 18th century between European intellectuals. Have you heard about this since, by the way? So all part of, not all I mean, intellectuals of Europe, they were using cocaine, in 18th century. But if to talk about Freud, for example, he has even essay about cocaine, because part of this intellectual I don't know, society of Europe, if I can tell like that, they were using cocaine because they had this idea, this substance helped them to produce more scientific ideas. And it was very kind of popular between intellectuals, and they didn't consider this like drug only after, as we already discussed, this since when they started to abuse, not to use, but to abuse. They understood that it can lead some harm, and we can talk about addiction. But yes, from the first idea was to help to, I don't know, to produce more ideas, to create, to do these things. So did we answer to your question?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Another type of another group of substances is hallucinogens. Do you know anything about hallucinogens? And maybe you can give us some examples. Hallucinogens. The word hallucinogens. Actually, in this word, we already have this key idea of
hallucination. With the situation when you have real life and like imaginated life, you cannot distinguish between them. And hallucinogens, maybe the drugs for people, I don't know now, just guessing that they give people to not treat hallucination, or what was it? Hallucination.
Yes. But but do you know any examples of these hallucinogens? I believe you know. No, you know.
You know?
Yes,
you know?
yes, you know. I'm absolutely sure you know.
Let me see.
Mushrooms.
Yes.
Poison.
Yes, of course. So this is one of the types of kind of these substances. Some mushrooms, they have this effect in that sense. I mean, there are more drugs now that produce the same effect, but you see, it's like the main idea. It's like hallucinations, and it's like some. I have some sensory experience, with this type of drugs, but it's a little bit different than with another type of drug. So I really experienced something that doesn't exist in reality. So this is hallucinations. And I remember that I have heard from my patient that it was very popular. I don't know about nowadays, but it was very popular before in St. Petersburg. You have been yet to St. Petersburg, the weather there. It's very gray sky, it's rainy, cloudy, so not so many colors. And hallucinogens are very popular between people who live in St. Petersburg before, because of this gray scene, gray sky, I don't know, because this weather. And they wanted to somehow, it's metaphorical, of course, to make their experience more colorful, if I can say like that. And what they did, it was like one of the patients that he was telling me, it's like we are sitting near with each other. It's like in a form of circle. We are using these mushrooms, and one of us starts to tell some story. So I'm kind of telling you the story, and other people, they experience all this story, so they really see like some, I don't know, like movie. So they are part of the story because they are in these hallucinations. So this mechanism, did you get this idea?
Мгм. Профессор, можно еще наркоз, когда еще тоже входит в галлюцинацион, потому что же, когда человек
Yes,
находит...
after you may have, yes, it's an altered state, yes, it has a sedative mechanism, so the idea to sedate, to relax, so, and after you, some people, they tell that they are under this seduction, semi-seduction, under this sedative mechanism, they can experience hallucinations. And you understand, that for example, not everyone will be using this type of drug. Yes, if we don't talk about this situations where when you are in the hospital, it depends on personality also, because of mechanism. So did you get the mechanism of this type of this group? It's hallucinogens.
They wanted to make their life more colorful.
I mean, it's metaphorical. I mean, yeah.
But we got it.
Yes. Okay. And I, by the way, I remember the name of this book I was trying to describe you before about this travel in this journey, this hallucination experience, hallucinogens that were using. One of the characters of this book is Carlos Castaneda. Have you heard?
Я все ждал зверобоя, но оказывается совсем другой.
Yes. Carlos Castaneda book, the story about Don Juan. Have you? I mean, did you read this book? It was very popular in 80s, 90s.
Дон Кихот? Нет. Дон Хуан, да, вы сказали?
Don Juan, Carlos Castaneda. Carlos Castaneda. This is the other of the book. You don't know? Oh, wow, really? It was very popular in Russian-speaking countries in the 80s and 90s of the last century. And in this book, it's literally description of this, it's mystical journey, it's spiritual journey of a main character, but there are some characters in this book who are using some different types of drugs. So you can read this book because it's not like guide how to use a drug, but it's more about outer state and about this spiritual things, because we use drugs not only to reduce pain or to increase our energy, but some people, they use drug to kind of achieve some spiritual things. So in that sense, it's also kind of the idea why I use this or that drug. Okay, you get, this idea. Do you have questions about this type of drug? So stimulants, I told you, opioids, hallucinogens, Dissociatives, it's like ecstasy. So the main idea is, it's like dissociation. So it's another relationship, with reality. Depressants, it also kind of we can depend on these things on the depressants. But the main idea of depressants, they can reduce our anxiety, and they do this sedation on us. So that is why it's very not like the same, but similar. That I'm kind of relaxing. I kind of feel less anxious, and etc. And there is also another type of drug that you telling about, stimulants mechanism, cannabinoids. I wanted to tell you about cannabis. Cannabis, because you know that very popular drug all over the world is cannabis. So this is kind of the most popular drug in the
Popular in
world.
our republic too, in Kyrgyzstan. It's
Yes,
popular.
you were telling about this grass that we have at school.
Yeah.
Yes, it's of course it's cannabis.
It's popular with cannabis.
Yes,
Osh
yes.
popular with clove, and it's popular with cannabis.
You know that many patients, who are coming to our country for treatment, I remember they were telling, oh, kind of Chui area, Chui. So Chui area is very kind of popular with cannabis. So, and almost everyone here that's through have the experience of using cannabis if you do smoking. But if even you don't do smoking, usually people who kind of can smoke near with you and you stand near, you still kind of smell the things, and then it also can have effect on you.
Oh, it's not forbidden in some states of USA.
Yes, by the way.
They're always using. Yes, in Holland it was the first country where it was legal for using.
Amsterdam, the Netherlands, it's also
Yes.
legal for use cannabis.
And Thailand too.
Yes, actually Thailand, Laos, the country near with Thailand, and Myanmar. There's kind of neighboring countries. It's like they call these countries like Golden Triangle. So in these countries there are a lot of drugs, not only cannabis. So it's like in Asia, this is like Golden Triangle, where you can have experience with any type of drugs. And of course, it's drug business and etc. What do you know about cannabis and the mechanism of action? How do you think? What the mechanism? Or you don't know anything?
I think it's same like relaxing, euphoria, and maybe even no, it's calm down. Yeah, we cannot say like energy increasing. No, it's opposite, calm down. I think because in films, especially in American films, we are watching relaxing. And this, I wanted to ask about from the beginning. We know this, which was the very popular also the name in films we saw always. Marijuana.
It's the same. I mean, we are talking about the same thing. So cannabis, this is grass, and marijuana, gashish in Russian, sorry. Ruchnik, it's also in Russian. I'm sorry, I don't know this English word. Probably people who will be watching us from other countries, I mean, but they will understand the other things. So all these things, so the main substance here is cannabis. So this is this grass that has this effect. Yeah, so it's like true, it's euphoria, relaxation, yeah. So usually people who are using this drug substances,
And
they
after they calm down, when they were feeling some pain, they will forget this pain will be reduced, heal it, and the feelings, the emotions, maybe as that I mentioned, they lost someone, and they will, for the short time, maybe they will forgot about this feeling, these emotions. That's why, and these
yes.
emotions really were hurting them, and to not hurt much, and they are getting this type of drugs to not pain their brain.
Yes, yes. And they also tell that their appetite is increasing usually. Sometimes my patients, they experience this, someone starts laughing and the whole group is laughing. So usually if people use cannabis, not usually, but often they don't do it alone, they do it in a group. Yeah, so it's also kind of communicative motive here we have. But we have to understand this is very kind of tricky drug, because I hear a lot of times from many people who, of course, using this type of substance, they tell, oh, it's a light drug. It's a light. The word light, it's легкий. But I mean, if to remember all my patients, so the statistic is 100% cases, all of them, they started from cannabis. And after they have another type of substance abuse. But the tricky thing that you use this cannabis and your critical abilities is decreasing. So you know that in Russian language, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know how to translate it into English, but in Russian language, I have heard many times this expression. So анаша сушит мозг не спеша. So it's like cannabis is dry your brain like slowly, yes. And that's true. So if you pay attention, I mean, I don't know, maybe you have some people, by the way, in your surrounding who are using some substances. And usually if we talk about cannabis, yeah, these people has more critical abilities, you know, they tell something that in other situations they would never tell. And you can see if they use it more often, like if you know this person for a couple of years, yeah, the critical abilities is really decreasing. And cannabis can cause you some psychosis. For example, here in Kyrgyzstan, when our first department of psychiatry was opened in our medical institution. It was last century. It was many years ago. It was last century. I don't know, I remember 30s or 40s of last century. But here in Central Asia, the psychiatric department was very popular with research on cannabis. So this was kind of main topic of this department. And one of the head of department, Professor Durandina, we actually lived with her in one house, but I mean, I was very small when she was already famous and she was retired, but she had kind of a lot of work and book about cannabis. So if you want, you can read. She described several types of psychosis that can cause you the using of this type of drug. So it's not like light drug in that sense, but you have to understand the mechanism again. So you see the different mechanism. Okay, sorry, Farhat, you wanted to ask something, yeah?
No, sorry, it has hallucinogenic effect too, yeah?
Yes, it may, yeah.
A lot of crimes were under this kind of under there was a lot of crimes, as I know, when man uses this drug.
Yes, because it's altered state anyway. Our critical ability is decreasing, as we know. Yes, that's true. So that is why many crimes actually committed by people who are under some substances, alcohol, and I don't know, cannabis, opioids. I mean, so when you are in alter state. Okay, so I mean, there are more, of course, and actually I wanted to tell you about more type of drugs, but maybe if you want, I just can share the presentation with you on our group, but you get the idea. So it's like different mechanism of using the drugs.
Yeah.
Did you get this idea?
Yes.
And that is why you have to understand that if I use drug, actually it has some effect, and this experience, and I'm telling you again, so you have to understand somehow this experience, why people start using drugs, especially if you want to work with this type of addiction. And if to talk about drug addiction, I don't know, alcohol, any type of this chemical addiction, any type of addiction, to be honest, psychotherapeutic strategy has to be not only with patient. So we have to do medical treatment. This is requirement. And we have to do psychotherapy, but not only with the patient, but with nearest surrounding of the patient, because we are talking about codependence also. People who live near with a patient who suffer from any type of dependence, they start to suffer in that sense from this phenomenon that we call codependence. So that is why it's better to do also therapy with them, then it will be more effect to stop using substance, and it's better to do it with, of course, medical professional. I mean, some people, they are recommending, to decrease the dose of substance. There are some programs, for example, like methadone. Probably you have heard about this program, that you don't use heroin, but instead of you are using methadone, and in that sense it decreases some other disease that goes near with using of heroin, because this is usually about injections, and we can talk about HIV. So this is kind of very popular diagnosis that people have for using this opioid group of drugs. But anyway, methadone, it's also has some consequences, and I was working in a private hospital before, where we did treatment of drug addiction, and there were many patients who were coming to kind of to get treatment from dependence from methadone. So in that sense, it's better to not like to reduce. So the best thing is to refuse from any substance. Then you can go to remission. Okay, did you get this idea? Actually, let me check, because I wanted to tell you about different types of drugs, and actually the mechanism is very it's like the same. We were discussing these things about withdrawal syndrome last time, when we were talking about alcohol, and this kind of different types of dependence, different sides, I would say, of dependence, syndrome of dependence, like psychological and physical dependence, these things. So maybe you have some question. So if you have, just let's kind of discuss, or maybe you have some ideas, thoughts. Because I wanted to finish actually our lecture today. Do you have any questions?
No, no.
Actually, I have a question for you, because I remember I was telling you that when I will tell you about different types of drugs, and I would say, for example, if I would choose which drug to use, for example, which drug I would choose. How do you think? Now you know about different types of drugs. I mean, doesn't mean that I will be choosing this drug, but I mean, I will be using, sorry. But if I would choose, how do you think, what type of drugs, now different mechanism on the psychic of this different types of substances, which, for example, group of substances is kind of more mine?
I don't know about you, but I I would like to try a stimulant.
It's a good. I just wanted to tell you it works both ways, not only about me, but maybe you have chosen yours. Okay, stimulants. Okay.
For you, you
Me
have
too.
you already have plenty of energy. You're a very energetic person. You don't need stimulant.
Yeah, but but if I would use it, would cocaine, of course, because for me it's like
Yeah,
if
more relaxed.
it's not my type. I mean, it's like to be somewhere
Relaxed.
like opioid. Or no way.
Nah, opposite. You wanted more active, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, that is why I understand the other mechanism. That is why different people they
Yeah.
can using different types. They start using different types of drugs. But of course, if you start and if we have kind of a lot of years of this substance dependence, and it is harm anyway. Your relation kind of suffers, your work, you can lose your work, money, and etc. Of course, after they can, because cocaine is very expensive if to talk about drugs, and after they have, of course, they can start to use any drugs they can have. Are very cheap because they don't have money and they have to cope somehow with this withdrawal syndrome. But if I mean, we are kind of doing some fantasies now because we are more trying to explain psychological mechanism because we are psychologists. So yes, yes, stimulants. Yeah, mine also would be stimulants. Maybe you also.
Мне бы тоже, да, вот знаете,
Also stimulants. Okay.
yes, also stimulant.
Okay.
Знаете, вот есть такая гипотеза, оказывается, когда женщина каждый раз беременеет и рожает, у нее какая-то часть мозга засыпает, какой-то процент, да, вот даже 70% я слышала. Вот, ну, грубо говоря, немножко тупеет, да, женщина, то, что даже знает, уже забывает вот это. Вот. Я бы тоже хотела такой какой-нибудь стимулятор, чтобы вот это активировать мой мозг.
For activation. Yeah, but the main, I mean, you are talking about, I mean, it's physiological things. Of course, it's connected with hormones. I mean, it's that's, you know, many women who, after pregnancies, they even have some depression. Yeah. So that's it's like, yeah, it's about hormones. Yeah, but I got your idea that stimulants, it's also yours. Okay. Okay, some other kind of ideas so we can finish. Or maybe questions.
Also, hallucination. I couldn't pronounce it. Hallucination. The drugs. I would also like, try, but I would like to see effect. How it's like. It's just because of I'm wondering how it's to see the effect. Yeah. You are out of the real life. How you will feel.
Yes.
It's also interesting.
Yeah. So now you got this idea that the best thing is, yes, and if people become addicted, especially we are talking about drugs now, some substances, not about alcohol, but about this, substances. There is always kind of motivation, of course, but if you want to do prevention, so it's not always working like, oh, it's very dangerous. You don't have to try this because it works. For some people, it's working. But if you know the mechanism, you understand why people are using, you can help them in a little bit different way. So in that sense, it's about different idea. If you just, I mean, I'm telling you just in case if you are going to do psychotherapy with people who suffer from drug substance dependence, all these things. Okay, if you don't have a question, so maybe we can finish this topic with about chemical addiction. So is it everything is clear, for you? So it's like I was trying to describe, the main thing. Okay, then we can finish this huge topic of chemical addiction. And next time you can, it will be your turn, and you can tell us about non-chemical addictions.